In a year full of surprises, perhaps no team has exceeded expectations more than Bellarmine, a program in its first season at the Division I level. After 4 Division II Final Fours and a national championship in the last decade, Bellarmine was picked to finish last in the preseason ASUN poll. Instead, they finished with the conference's most efficient offense and fell a game short of a regular season title. In this video, we'll take a look at how Bellarmine's unique motion offense helped them make the smooth transition to a higher level. First, let's look at the numbers. With pace, pick and roll usage, and three-point volume at an all-time high in today's game, Bellarmine ranks dead last nationally in ball screen rate, 239th in offensive tempo, and 308th in three-point volume. They also don't start a player taller than 6'7". So, to summarize, they play slow, they play small, and they don't shoot a lot of threes. Instead, they rely on constant half-court off-ball motion, and despite their lack of size, a heavy dose of post-ups. Before we get into their half-court offense, let's take a look at how some of their transition philosophies differ from most teams. Teams in today's game usually place an emphasis on running wide and arriving to the three-point line early in transition, filling corners and wings aggressively, looking for shots. Teams like Alabama and Gonzaga have gotten plenty of love for their style of play this year, ranking 2nd and 3rd respectively in offensive pace. But the difference in Coach Scott Davenport's philosophy is apparent right away when watching Bellarmine. Normally, we would expect these two guys to get out wide and fill the corners. Instead, players ahead of the ball in Bellarmine's break often cut through the paint and exchange sides. This allows players to remain threats at all times on a team without a lot of three-point shooting. Cutters have to be respected, and as a result, the ball handler often has a free path to the rim with the help defense being occupied. Other times, when too much attention is put on the ball, Bellarmine can end up with a wide open look from the perimeter or at the rim due to defensive confusion. Now, let's move on to the half court. When they can, Bellarmine tries to initiate their offense with 4 on the perimeter, with their forwards lifted, and a big man at the free throw line area. On the first reversal, the 2 guards in the slot X off the big looking for an early layup off the back screen. If they're unable to get a layup, the first cutter can still catch the mid post and begin to operate. Here you can see Dylan Penn, a 6'3" guard who has scored more than twice as much from the post as anybody else on the team, look to score. But they sometimes use the mid-post as a passing position. In this clip, Duke switches 6'7" Henry Coleman onto the smaller Penn, but they still throw it in and begin to move off the ball. If that first option isn't there, they send the second cutter for a potential lob. After that, things get a lot more interesting. At this point, all 5 players on the floor are interchangeable. Guards can post and bigs can make plays on the perimeter, making Bellarmine a difficult team to scout and guard. They have the freedom to freestyle throughout possessions, but for the most part, the ball side post stays occupied with 4 spaced on the perimeter. On a reversal, a shuffle cut usually occurs to get a layup or refill the post and start again. Although they stay true to their principles, Bellarmine is far from robotic, and their experience and feel for each other often shows. In this clip, the defense cheats the shuffle cut, and they stay in a 5-out set for a moment. They know the post must be filled though, so check out the subtle communication between these two. They make eye contact, see the opportunity, and the passer gives a slight head nod to encourage the cut and get an easy 2 points. Even in this possession, they don't necessarily stick to the script, but the concepts remain the same, and they end up with another deep post touch for Penn. Bellarmine's emphasis on getting a good shot at the rim means they have to be more patient at times, and they are dependent on moving the ball side to side. Many teams have tried to counter their constant motion with pressure and passing lanes, but Bellarmine time and again has been happy to take what the defense gives them and cut backdoor. Although their system is a bit unusual, as I watched them I was reminded of two other teams, the first of which was Villanova. Although Villanova tends to stay spaced on the three-point line more often, there are still a few similarities, namely their tendency to post playmaking guards. Both teams are more than willing to let guards take their time in the post and get a good look, and they'll both make an effort to get it inside in transition and play out of the mid-post. The logo jump stop is a common occurrence as well in both offenses. In this possession, Bellarmine takes it to a whole nother level, touching the paint 3 separate times and cutting off it. The other team I thought of is the Division III St. Joseph's Monks, who got some attention last year for their 5-out motion offense. I'll leave a link to a detailed video by Coach Daniel about them in the description, but their off-ball movement on penetration is very similar to Bellarmine's. One important distinction, however, is Bellarmine's lack of three-point shooting. St. Joseph shot over 40% over the last 2 seasons from 3 on about 30 attempts per game. Villanova has ranked in the top 50 of three-point shooting volume in each of the last 8 seasons, which is why Bellarmine's combination of personnel and style of play is still so unusual. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and comment a team you'd like to see in the next breakdown. To finish up, here are a few of my favorite possessions from Bellarmine this season.